lovers. Welcome to another episode of Notes from the Field. Bob Ellis here, James Holder behind the camera, and we have scratched ourselves up to bring you this episode of Notes from the Field. We are just above the Hassayampa Canyon River Wilderness, probably about a mile in that direction. But the reason we're here today is we're tracking an animal. And I think you're going to be interested in this animal. I can tell by the size of the track and the size of the stride what animal this is. And I think this animal is going to tell us a story. This is the track, and here's another track. Front paw, hind, front. It looks like it's headed down this beach towards the river. Let's follow it down there, see what the heck it's doing. As we follow these tracks, you know what we're really doing is following a story. And naturalists are some of the best storytellers and story interpreters there are. And so, I've said before, naturalists, we're a pattern-seeking tribe. And in this pattern of tracks, there's a story. And the story is deeper than the creature. The story is a story of ecology, really. And that's the story of the Mesopredator. Let's go find out what this creature is doing. Here it goes. Track. Looks like the sand is covered. A couple. Track. And it looks like it's heading around this bush here. You know, this is pretty common for animals whenever they travel. They always want to have cover nearby so they can evade a predator, or perhaps they're looking for prey that's right along the edge of these shrubs. Let's walk on down, see where this thing is going. Here it goes. Right here. It goes right around here. Here it goes. And then it hits a substrate that I can't track on. I'm not that good a tracker. That is too hard. So we're going to have to make some guesses. Let's look around. What do we see? Whoa, look at that. That is like, there's a spring, a seep up there. These enormous cottonwoods growing in the hot, dry desert. You can see the saguaros back there. I'll tell you what, if I were an animal interested in finding something to eat, I think I'd be going over there. Let's go see what's over there. Let's get a closer look. And this is a softer substrate, so the track spreads out. It's a little bit larger here than it was up there, but nonetheless, one of the things I can tell by looking at this track is it's longer than it is wide, and that tells me it's probably, and it has claws, and it looks like it has 4 toe pads or 4 claws, and so that tells me that this is probably a canid, a dog. And so whenever we think of dogs in this part of the country, wild dogs, we only have a few choices. Now, one of our choices is coyote. And I can look at that track and tell you that a coyote track is larger than that, and the stride length is larger. So we can rule out coyote as the animal that we're tracking. Another animal I think we can rule out, another canid, is the kit fox. This really isn't kit fox habitat, and a kit fox track is smaller than that. It's a very small animal. I think what we're on the trail of is a gray fox. And a gray fox has a stride length that matches and a foot size that matches those tracks as well. And this is great gray fox habitat. And gray foxes, fascinating animals. They are about the size of a small border collie, 8 to 11 pounds. And unlike all other canids, they're sort of felid-like. They're sort of cat-like. Whenever you look at their tracks, sometimes you don't see those claws. In this substrate, they're really pronounced, but when we're up in the sand, it was hard to see the claws, and so they're cat-like like that. But a way that they're really cat-like is they're the only canid in North America that can climb trees. So they're predators, and while they're omnivorous as well, they hunt and kill small rodents, lizards, any other animal that will fit into their mouth. And that is the story of the Mesopredator. So the gray fox is out looking for food, trying to find something that would fit in its mouth. But the problem the Mesopredator has is that gray fox fits in other animals' mouths as well. So a Mesopredator, that means a middle predator. There are predators smaller than the gray fox, and there are predators larger than the gray fox. The life of a Mesopredator is very challenging because you're not only a hunter, but you're the hunted. You're not only looking for prey, but you are the prey. And so Mesopredators have to be very, very crafty. And the story that's being told here is there's a gray fox out and it's foraging for food. It crosses that sandbar that we crossed, crosses the stream, comes over here, and is interested in foraging in this area. It's drawn to this spot. And whenever you look up into this canyon, you can see a lot of growth. So that means that there's a lot of opportunities for organisms to make a living. And so that means more than likely there's something up there the gray fox might be interested in eating. So whenever I look at this story, I look at this gray fox coming down the beach, crossing the gravel bar, crossing the river, and I believe that gray fox is interested in going up in that canyon. And if you look at the tracks, they seem to tell that story. Here, the fox walks up on this sandbar, moves over in this direction, and then you can see that the sand has been kicked out of the track. That means it's moving in that direction, so it makes a bound off of this little sandy area up onto the rock. And then, I'm guessing, if we were able to track it, moves up into that canyon, or it continues downriver. And we could try to solve that, that puzzle if we walked over this rock face and went to that next sandy area, see if it moved downstream. If it didn't, we would just go ahead and move up the rock looking for any signs. And so anybody in almost any location can take up this pursuit of following animal tracks, which is, once again, really following stories. Hey folks, thanks once again for coming along on another Notes from the Field excursion. And once again, you could do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button and going over to our website. You're going to find a lot of interesting content there and an opportunity to donate to keep these videos coming your way. Thanks, and we'll see you later.